What's the Car Talk podcast?
Hello and welcome back to the Car Talk podcast, a show where we talk about the latest car news and the latest transportation opinion. Now today, obviously, it's a heat wave in England, and I have got an air conditioning unit behind me, so sorry for the background noise. And obviously that's the cause of global warming. No, sorry, we're just in July.
Well, meanwhile up north, there's no air conditioning unit. I'm absolutely sweltering. I've got a lovely tan, but I'm sorry if you're viewing this in video form because I look awful. I think even Prince Andrew's sweating today. It's that hot.
So Matty, I thought in the north it was quite cold. So is it the same sort of temperature there?
No, I think that we've sort of caught up with all the fumes coming from the cars has sort of made it a bit global warming-y here. But we're up north, so we all think the Earth's flat, so it's just a summer's day for us.
Obviously joining me this week is Matty, which you've now been introduced already. And we have a special guest on this month, and it's Toby from the channel Fruitster. I think that's how you say it, isn't it? Hello, Toby.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Hello, Bailey. I'm doing very, very well.
Good. Now, we're going to talk about you, obviously, but a bit later on. Mm-hmm. But we'll start with the car news first. Matty, have you got anything exciting this week, month?
Well, straight in this week, I've got the news that has been all over social media. BMW now wants to charge you a subscription for the likes of heated seats and heated steering wheel. What do we think about that, boys?
That's idiotic.
Crap, because my brother's got a Volvo V90 and he didn't get charged for heat steering or heat seats and all that.
There we go. Very good point. I think Tesla's doing a similar thing, you know.
Are they? I mean, it doesn't surprise me because you have to buy everything.
Yeah, you sort of upgrade the software. Luckily, though, I don't know what sort of years this comes into effect from, but it's going to be £18 a month. But luckily, coders have already sort of got onto this and they've tried to rig it so you won't be stung. So
good.
Hopefully it won't come to the UK for a while. Go on.
A question I have for you, Matty, is do you reckon indicators will be an optional extra on BMW soon?
Possibly, yeah. Mine's got them, but I don't know how to use them.
Yeah, I mean they're usually covered in cobwebs as well. I've noticed that quite a lot when you step into an interior of a BMW. There's usually quite a lot of cobwebs and stuff, and it does need a bit of dusting down that area. But yeah, very minimal use. I've got some good news this month, and it's the
great news.
It is great news. The new Honda Civic Type R is coming soon.
Ooh,
that's the news.
That's great news.
That is the news, and we'll move on to something actually quite nice, I think. It's an all-new Kia, Matty, so you might like this. It's called the Kia X.
Why would I like it?
I don't know. I just thought you might like this.
I don't like Kias.
I don't know. Anyway, it's got a 1.6 litre turbo engine, and it's quite reasonably priced, £25,000, and it's got a reasonable 204 horsepower.
What is it?
Wow.
What is it called?
The Kia Exceed. It's actually okay looking. You know, it's I don't know what it is. It's sort of like a crossover sort of thing, but it looks like a hatchback. So I'm a bit confused. It's sort of SUV coupe sort of thing, I think. One of those things that we don't need again.
Well, I'm confused. You thought I was old enough to like that.
Do you not like it?
I don't mind.
It's alright looking.
Well, I mean, I'm not a big fan of Kia because I don't really like Kia, and I don't. I'll tell you what, the only South Korean car I like is a Honda Hyundai Coupe, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
My mate's mum had one of them in school, a red one.
I've got a review coming out in a few weeks of that car, so yeah, you can stay tuned for that. Matty, have you got anything else that's interesting?
Yes. If you are on the mobility scheme, so you can claim a Motability car off the Motability people if you're disabled, then this is good news for you because the new Nissan X Trail is coming and it will be ready for a 2022 launch, and it looks absolutely identical to the previous model. So that means if you are prone to pooing yourself from shock, you won't when you go to pick up your new X Trail, because it will inevitably be a mobility car, because the last generation was as well.
Interesting
Great news.
I let my nan and granddad know about that.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
A quite interesting car that I'm actually very interested in, guys, is it's a brand new Hyundai, which doesn't sound interesting, but it's called the Envision 74 concept, which actually does sound interesting. And it's a race car, it looks like. It's got like a big wing, it's got a body kit, and it's actually got some really nice retro styling going on. It almost sort of looks like the BMW M1, in my opinion. But the most interesting part about the car for me is that it's actually powered by hydrogen fuel cell, which is completely different, and I think it's great step forward. What do you lads think?
Awesome.
Looks fantastic.
It does. It really does. I'm actually all for that, to be fair. If they keep making cars looking like that, I know it's a race car, maybe not just a race car, they might make a road going version of it. But if they make cars like that and have hydrogen, I'm all for that.
It reminds me of like an old Lamborghini, or possibly like the DeLorean. I just see bits of that.
Yeah, it's got DeLorean sort of like to it, the boxy sort of retro styling. And what's really great about it is it actually has really good range as well. It's got 600 miles of range. So it's proving that it's just the way forward. I don't need silly electric cars. Let's have hydrogen fuel cell instead, please.
One more bit of news from me. If you're interested, I'm sure you're not, so I'm ready for you to tell me. Peugeot UK pushes for massive brand awareness boost.
I'm not interested.
We've also got a picture here, which has kindly been displayed on the Autocar website, of Peugeot's boss, and her name is Julie David. And incidentally, you can't actually tell whether she looks like a David or a Julie. She could be either or.
Interesting to know.
I thought you were gonna say a Julie Citroen, because
Julie Citroen at Peugeot.
Yeah, that would be brilliant if it actually was, to be fair.
That would be awesome.
Bad news, I'm afraid.
Oh no!
The next role, this is not confirmed, but it's a sort of, well, I'm assuming that it will probably happen, and it's been said somewhere else on different pages and things. The next Rolls-Royce will likely be an EV, which means they're going to scrap the W12 engine. But it's the new one that they are going to release. It's currently a render. It's called the Rolls-Royce Spectre, which actually sounds really cool.
As well, have you actually heard of the W12 engine without that silencer thing on it?
No.
Does it have like a silencer?
You took the words out of my mouth. I was just wondering, I was just going to ask, is there much following for that engine? Because you're not meant to even, you're only meant to hear the clock tick in that car. You're not meant to hear
this is the
anything.
This is the thing I was going to say to you guys. Like, do you actually think it's a good direction for Rolls-Royce? Because I think it is. Because you don't really, like you said, you don't really need to listen to the engine. It's a luxury car. You want to be there in comfort.
Yeah, you don't hear it. You just glide along and you just don't hear a thing.
I suppose
so. I think
the only problem's going to be is if it is electric, will you hear more noise from the road and the wind and that, because you haven't got an engine humming?
That's a good point.
There's sort of pros and cons to it. So I guess we'll have to see what it is. But if you're interested in looking at the picture, it looks exactly like other Rolls-Royces, but it's called the Rolls-Royce Spectre, and it looks quite nice.
For all we know,
like a Rolls-Royce.
The designer for the Rolls-Royce cars could have died years ago. We wouldn't know, would we?
No, exactly.
He could be dead,
He must be, because they've been making cars for a while now, haven't they?
Just using that photocopier.
3D printer, the same thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, anything else, Matty, that you've got?
No other news from me thus far.
No other news. I haven't got any news either. That's kind of it, really. I mean, we can move on to our game, if you like, or games.
Go on.
Now, obviously, Toby, if you have watched our podcast, which nobody does, then you might be aware of our games. And we have two games, which we both made up. Well, Matty made up.
Okay.
And one of them's called Scrap Drive Own, which is basically like Snog, Marry, Avoid, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And I give you 3 cars. You have to choose which one you put in each category, etc.
Let's start with that.
Let's start with that. Yes.
Okay.
So, Toby, as I know you are quite a big JDM fan, I've gone for a JDM choice of cars. Bit like me,
Okay.
I'm a big JDM fan, as you know.
I'm not a big JDM fan.
You're not anyway. We'll do it anyway.
No, but
Big
anyway.
Citrus Saxo fan instead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I did it for my benefit anyway.
Oh, okay.
So the cars that I've chosen for you, Toby, are an R34 Skyline, a Mazda RX-7, or a Mark IV Toyota Supra. So you have to either scrap, drive, or own.
Scrap the Supra.
Either one of those. Why would you say that?
If the Supra's automatic, I'll scrap it.
Scrap the Supra.
So I'll probably scrap the Supra. I would own the R34 and I'd drive, what's the other car?
RX-7.
And I'd drive an RX-7, but at the same time, I don't know because it's a rotary. But Skylines are more expensive, and if I keep it in a garage and keep it restored, it will sell for a lot more money.
Exactly. I like your thinking.
I like the
very
strategy
advanced
of scrap
Yes.
drive own this week. I do. Yeah. Good strategic thinking.
So I'll probably go for that. Yeah.
I'd have to agree with you actually there, to be fair. I mean, I really, as much as I like the Supra, I think it's the least favourite out of the four.
Yeah.
And it is slightly
just
overrated, but I love it still, you know. Can't not.
Well, he doesn't have a Supra.
Matty, probably. Do you like a Supra, Matty?
Well, does the word chav exist in America? Because that's what the people who drive them symbolise across the
Not
pond.
quite.
There you go, chav.
I don't think they. I don't think they do. I don't think it's a chavvy car.
I think they call
Maybe
it...
a Subaru.
Do they call it doofus in America?
Oh, yeah.
I
douchebag.
thought they called it hillbilly.
Yeah, a bit of a hill... Bit
Yeah,
of a sort
or
of hit rich
is it
hillbilly.
redneck?
Yeah. But if you want, we can move on to our second game if you have prepared it, Matty.
I certainly have.
You have,
I have.
perfect.
Okay.
I wouldn't doubt you for a second, but let's move on to that. And it's going to be, of course, what's it
Autostar.
called?
It's called
That's the
Autostar. And usually with Autostar, I give you 3 celebrities. One of them matches a fact, the other 2 don't, or, you know, it's basically that. This week, because it has been very short notice because I forgot, I have changed the rules and moved the goalposts a bit.
Oh, no.
Now, as we're about to find out about Toby and his channel, it's all to do with Grand Theft Auto or GTA if you're in the hood.
Of course it is.
So, this week I'm going to give you 3 characters from GTA, and I think that it's not, you know, there's no right or wrong answer. You tell me what car in real life you reckon they would drive. So, going to keep it nice and simple. GTA 5, going to give you Michael, Trevor and Franklin. Go through each. What do you reckon they would drive in real life if they were here existing?
Well, in GTA, if my memory serves me correctly, Franklin drives a Dodge Charger, like a new one. So I think he'd go for one. He'd go for like a 4-door saloon Charger, like an RT or something. Michael, he drives an Audi, which is a bit of a knob's car. So he'd probably get like an Audi A6, probably, because he's a luxury man. And Trevor, I don't know, he'll just get a white van.
A white van.
Literally, he probably will as well.
And that is the correct answer.
That is the correct answer.
Oh, yeah.
And the white van is obviously the best bet because you won't look on top, because obviously in real life we don't have paint spray, so, you know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, that's the game sorted out.
Are we gonna? Yeah, we're gonna move on to Toby.
We are, yes.
Yeah.
And well, I suppose Toby. So we'll just talk about you, obviously, but specifically your YouTube channel, because you run a YouTube channel which is, well, as we've kind of just mentioned, very briefly there, it's GTA related. Now,
it is. GTA
it's an odd one because I was sort of like, well, when I first came across it, or when you first sort of gave me a message, I was like, well, this is quite interesting.
Yeah.
How can you film like GTA Top Gear in GTA, or Top Gear in GTA? And you've actually done it really well. It's really, really good.
And there's a few reviews as well. So tell us how it came about.
Yeah.
About probably 6 years ago, there was a guy called Tom Matthews on YouTube who did his own GTA Top Gear. And I remember I came across it like back in 2019. I come across it and he did like these fun challenges, so I watched one. And I thought, I really want to do something like that. Because back then, I wasn't a massive Top Gear fan, but I heard of the show.
Yeah.
So I watched his videos and I loved them. I watched them over and over again. And I couldn't get to sleep that night because I was watching them over and over again. And then I thought, why don't I give it a go? And since I had this like really shitty gaming laptop, so I thought I'd use it. And then I plugged in my mic, not the one I've got now. I had like a different one. And then I remember my first ever episode I just recorded me playing, and I said that the producers gave me a budget of like $100,000 or something, and I had to buy a car, and I bought this Ford Mustang, and I drifted it around the corner. I did high speed in it. I upgraded it, and that was the end.
No, that's cool.
That was basically my episode, and then I did a muscle car challenge the same day. Well, I got this, I can't remember what car it was, but it was this really shitty muscle car. I drove around a horse track. I did another high speed. I did drifting, and at the end of the show, that was it. And then I got one of my little stepbrother and his friend to come and join me do it. It was absolute crap. I've still got the videos, but it's on private. And we basically did these like really crap challenges with cars. And we did about 5 together, and then we ended it with a race between me in a car, I think my younger stepbrother in a boat, and then his mate in a plane, and we had to race to the top of the map.
Nice.
And I won, because I always do. And that was it. And after that, I didn't do it. I didn't record any GTA Top Gear after that until I came to recreating Top Gear in the Grand Tour, as you can see on my channel.
Yeah,
and that's sort of like your main sort of thing on the channel, which is probably all my favourite stuff. And you say to me that one of your like trailer recreations actually got reposted by the Grand Tour themselves.
The Grand Tour,
and they commented, which is crazy. Wow. Really cool.
Yeah, that's how I've gotten. I wouldn't say big, but that's how I've got views and subscribers. Yeah.
Yeah, because that video got quite a few views. It got like 25,000 views.
Yeah.
Didn't it?
I remember the night I recreated it and I put it on YouTube, and obviously I had a little bit of an audience, so there was a couple of views, but then all of a sudden it spiked up.
Yeah.
I was like, what's going on here? So I'm sitting there refreshing it. It went from 1,000 to 2,000, 2,000 and a half. I was like, what's going on? Look, comments, likes coming in. I'm like, what? And the next minute I get comments saying, oh, well done, mate. This is really good. I love this channel. I love this video. And then one guy said, love your channel, mate. This got tweeted by GT. And I thought, GT? And then I got confused what it was until people kept saying, I thought, Grand Tour? And someone said, when your video got tweeted by the Grand Tour on Twitter, and I thought at first it'd be a fake one.
Yeah.
It'd be the real one. So I went onto the Twitter, and it was.
Wow.
And it's still on there to this day.
Honestly, that's so cool. I mean, the chances of them finding it and actually, watching it and stuff but it's not that it's like your videos are actually very, very entertaining to watch, because the way they're filmed it's really interesting to me.
It's hard.
I bet it is, because I was going to ask you how do you actually go about filming them, because obviously you got all these cool camera angles like Top Gear, and obviously all the recreation stuff. You want to try and match the camera angle and match the sort of cars and stuff. So how do you actually go about filming it in game? Because I have no idea.
Well, what I do is I go on online on a website called GTA 5 Mods. So I get, for example, if Jeremy's driving like a Porsche 928, for example, like that story you told.
Yeah.
I went onto the website, got a mod, put it on my computer, and then I've already recreated Jeremy. Like, I've tried to recreate him on GTA, and then what I've done is since I've got 2 monitors at home, I'm not currently at home, but I'd have 2 monitors, and one screen would be what I'm recording, so like Jeremy, and then my other screen would be GTA. So what I'd do is
try and match it.
I would match it, and I'd skip back a few bits, and I'd click play on the video, and then what I'd do, I'd start driving the GTA, and I'd click record, because there's a thing called Rockstar Editor, and you click record, and you could do different camera angles.
Yes, I've seen that actually.
And then what I do is as Jeremy's talking on my keyboard, I click the letter J, and the mouth moves, so it looks like it's talking.
That's cool.
So really, what happens is when I did Jeremy talking about his Dad's death in the Porsche. I was driving on this highway in GTA, and every time Jeremy would talk, I clicked the letter J, and his mouth would move in GTA. Sometimes it wouldn't line up properly, but I still got it like that.
That's cool.
And then, for example, driving past shots, in the distance shots, I basically just make I would drive down like a road or something, and then I'd just put the camera back and then just zoom in, and the car would come through the distance. That's about it.
Oh, honestly, mate, it's awesome. It's really good stuff, and obviously, obviously you do those recreations, but also you do sort of like your own Top Gear sort of style thing, and obviously that's very interesting for me because that's how the Grand Teen started off. Just sort of recreating Top Gear or taking the piss out of it. And fun fact, Matt, I don't know if I've told you this, but he on his recent video that he does like a Stig test drive.
Stig lap, yeah.
Yeah, and in how in the car there's always some music and stuff. And it cuts the Stig in the car. So Toby put our podcast over that when
it was your recent GT4 review.
Oh yes,
I put it over.
Yeah,
that was it.
I'm just watching the theme tune now. I love the way you replace it with GTA footage and things like that.
Yeah,
it is a fairly unique idea. This it is, when you think about it, really cool. Everything that goes into your videos, because I actually remember. You'll have to forgive me because I haven't played a lot of GTA, but I played. I think it was GTA 3 and GTA Vice City on the iPad and that, just when I was bored a few years ago. And I thought, because obviously you can spin around the car on the outside, I thought some of the cars, what was it, like the Landstalker or something, you drive it and it just topple over and go on fire. And I thought, wouldn't it be really cool to do a voiceover, screen record it, do a voiceover and go, this is the Landstalker, and it topples over and things like that. So I kind of get where the ideas stem from, and it's really cool that you've made it work as well, because they're quite professional as well, watching the videos.
It is, yeah, it really is.
Yeah. I've been editing for years. Well, I mean, I'm not as good as Bailey because he uses Premiere Pro. I don't use that. My dad got me a software called Filmora, and I've been using it for years, and that's what I've just been comfortable with. So what I do is I mix the new Top Gear edit with old Top Gear.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. Because I like the new Top Gear edit, but I like how... So basically what I do is I try to edit like new Top Gear, but I like to act and do stuff the way old Top Gear did.
Yeah, of course.
For example, we've got Reasonably Priced Car segment. We had a guest on called TNT. He does like recreations in GTA, but he does like movies and stuff. So I was just go check him out because he's cool. And we do car reviews. We do the news as well. That'll be on next episode. And that's about it. And then we do like funny little segments as well. We did. I'll give you a little sneak peek. We did like a limo rally race because in GTA limos are not used, right? Yeah. So I thought, how cool would it be to take 3 limos and belt them around a track? So I built my own makeshift track and I put some like tyres up, bits like that. I got 3 limos and I said to Logan and Lewis, who my mates who helped me do it, I was on a party with them one day and I said, how cool would it be to just belt around a track in some limos? And I thought, what do you mean by that? And I said, get 3 GTA limos and just belt around the track. And they were like, sounds like a good idea. So I created a track, put 3 limos, and that was it. And then we just belt all around.
Now
it was quite fun.
One thing that makes me laugh as well is when you do the car reviews, like when you present them or talk about them, is you talk about them in GTA terms instead of like in terms of real life, and so like.
Well, yeah, because that's the whole point of it.
Well, yeah, that's what's funny about it is it's like you talk about a car that's quite obviously an Aston Martin, but actually you name it in the GTA name, which is some sort of like random name, and it is quite funny.
Yeah, because if I was if Lewis and Logan had like a computer and they could get mods. If they had computers, I would have done Top Gear, but with real cars. Yeah. So, for example, if we're doing a cheap car challenge, I know Lewis would get a Saxo mod, Logan would get like a little Peugeot, and I'd get like a Fiat, like a Punter or something, and we do something like that. But since they don't have a computer, because they're a bit thick, if you're watching this, I said that, right? Because I told them about the podcast and I told them about the channel. And they don't have computers, so... since I have to record it on the Xbox, which is annoying because there's a range on the camera. For example, if we're driving and talking about our cars like, after we've left meeting, there's a certain amount of range until your camera can't go further in G-Share, and that's really annoying. So whenever they talk about the cars, for example, our next episode, I'll give you a sneak peek, a muscle car episode, Logan was talking about his car and he just drove off. I did tell him before we shot that, I said, do not drive off. And he said, okay. And we shot it and he drove off. I thought...
Oh, yeah, I bet the communication gets quite annoying because obviously you're not actually there in real life and you can't sort of be in the same room, I suppose, could you? So it's I bet it is quite difficult to navigate everyone. I've done a similar thing before with like sort of other games and like trying to make sort of cinematic movies.
I thought you were going to say recording
gaming.
with me then.
Yeah.
And you, Matty. That's a good example. But yeah, honestly, I find it really interesting.
So what I have to do is since they drive off and I can't get them in the shot, what I do is I recreate their characters on my computer and then play as them.
Okay, yeah.
To film what you've lost.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. So when Logan drove off, I didn't say anything. I just let him talk about his car. So what I've done is I did it like this morning. I got on my computer and I played as Logan. I'm obviously got the same car, same clothes, and I just played as him, just driving on the motorway. And then what I'll do is I'll just get him talking and put it over it, so it looks like it's him, but it's not. It's just
yeah.
So it makes it more, because if Logan's talking about his car and it's just showing my car, people will be like, well, where's Logan's car? What's he talking about? So I have to kind of alternate it in a way so people know what he's talking about.
So obviously the ideas for this will technically never end. You're going to be able to go on with this sort of idea concept forever.
Yeah.
Do you have, obviously the channel will grow and grow, like I say that to everybody who comes on, but have you got any other plans for the channel, anything that you sort of want to dabble in the future, or
Project Car Series?
So is this with the Focus, or are you after?
No, the Focus is getting scrapped because it's knackered. So what me and Mum are going to do is we're going to scrap the Focus. I think I said at the start of the podcast, we're going to sell it to We Buy Any Car, and then we're going to sell the rims, which will give us an extra like 200 quid. Yeah. So we'll have 600 quid. We'll buy a car for 600 quid, flip it, make a profit, and constantly keep going.
Right. Okay.
And then eventually we'll get like a unit or whatever, and then eventually I'll ask Mum for see if I can get like a project car, because obviously since I can't drive it, I thought I'd work on it at home, and then I don't know, at some point in the future when I can drive, I'll take it out.
Yeah.
So if you could have one project car at the minute, what would it be? Is the Focus just because you got given it, or are you into cool Fords?
Well, I think you've noticed that I'm into my fast Fords, because I am. I wouldn't have the Focus, not because it was gifted. If it was in good nick, I'd have it. It's a good car. I'm not saying it's not, because it's been upgraded a bit. I think it's got performance exhaust, lowered, new wheels, and all that. But if I had to have one project car and that was it, I'd get a Ford Sierra Sapphire RS Cosworth, and I'll get the four-wheel drive version.
Wow. Yeah.
Nice.
And that'd be it. But they're like 30 grand.
I was gonna say, good luck finding one. Even finding like a normal Sierra now,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Sierra Sapphire. They had like the spoiler and that on the back, and the smoked ribbed headlights and all that, didn't they?
Yeah.
Box cars. Yeah.
I remember my my stepdad's mum had one, and it got rear-ended by a Bush Tyres van.
Oh no.
It was. I remember it. She was saying she was near where you live, Matt. She was at Bolton. That was it.
Okay.
She was up there for the day, and she was going to get some bits because she lived up north. And she said she stopped at this light, and out of nowhere she just got this massive shunt from the back, and it was some lad on his phone on this like really crappy old Nokia, because it was obviously back in the 90s, and he smashed into the back of it and he was crushed.
Damn.
What a shame.
And I thought, why You could have prevented that if you weren't on your phone. You silly. I'm not going to say it. You silly plonker. You wouldn't have destroyed a perfect cool car. But obviously you did. But the thing is that if I couldn't get a Sierra Sapphire Irish Cosworth, I'd get a two-seater sports car. Right?
Yeah.
And what would that be?
I wouldn't get a Mazda.
That's the wrong answer.
Shut up. Right, I wouldn't get a Mazda. I think I've changed my mind with the BMW Z3 because not long ago I said to Bailey I'd get a Z3, but I thought no.
Because they're rubbish.
My dad. Right, they're not that rubbish.
They are. They're good, but they're just sort of like they're BMWs,
Rubbish.
so they're just
Piece of
they
debate
will
here.
break.
Well, it doesn't matter, right? But and then I thought of an MGF, but my dad wants to get an MGF, and they're prone to head gaskets, and it'd be really annoying to repair one.
Same
and
in
in
my
the
car.
end, I thought, well, then there you go.
Same engine.
As well, fun fact about a Mazda MX-5. I've already told you this ages ago. A Mazda MX-5 is technically classed as a mid-engine sports car.
Yeah, she
because because the engine is behind the front axle.
Yeah, which is actually really
So-
cool. So I've got a mid-engine sports car.
You've
is what
got
I
a
have.
mid-engine Mazda MX-5. So in
I'm not
the
going to
end,
live that down now, am I?
No, you're not. So in the end, if I had to go for a two-seater sports car, I'd go for an MR2, an old one, like a first-gen one,
Nice.
because they're solid. That's about it.
Well, Toby, that's honestly been awesome having you on and talking about your
Thanks.
GTA channel, which I think
Yes.
is actually it's a very unique and very, very cool idea.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to more videos coming out soon. I'm pretty much binging your channel at the moment because it's all really funny
Good.
He says that to everybody.
stuff. No, I don't actually, to be fair.
Oh,
But
you made me feel so good for that minute.
But honestly, yeah, thanks for coming on. It's been really great having you on.
No problem.
And obviously, I'm sure you've been appreciative of it because obviously you were the one that wants to come on very much.
Yeah.
But we'll plug in our social medias, Instagrams, whatever. Matty, do you want to go first?
Yes. If you would like to see more of me, then you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Matty's Cars. And follow me on Instagram, which is Matty's Cars YT. And if you want to see pictures of me in funky shirts in Benidorm, then you can follow my personal Instagram, which is matsgram99.
Nice one, mates. Yeah, of course you went on holiday, didn't you, recently? That's why. So you can see Matty in some oversized trunks. And Toby, what's all your social medias? You can plug that.
I've only got two, which is Fruitster, which is go on my channel. You can watch some awesome GTA content, probably the best in the world. And number two, you can go follow my Instagram at _Fruitster_ where you can see some random videos about me.
Random videos about you, perfect. And obviously you can subscribe to us here on the channel, which is Car Culture. And if you want to follow us on social medias, we've got a TikTok, Twitter, and an Instagram, but we don't use Twitter, so I'm not going to say Twitter. The TikTok is Car Culture Club YT, and our Instagram is Car Culture _YT, which we still don't remember off by heart. But Toby, it's awesome having you on, as I said, and yeah, I'm looking forward to more content. And that pretty much wraps up for the podcast. If you did enjoy listening and watching, then obviously follow us, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.